Welcome to r/AskUK, where we ask some British people some British questions. We're starting with the question from Big Brain Max. What is your worst landlord story? Now this could be universal, this doesn't have to be UK based, but this one is. So let's get into it. The poster starts by saying, I had a cheap Scottish short man not wanting to pay for curtains. For 6 months and one of the worst mattresses ever and no washing machine in the building despite paying £300 a week. Near central, £300 a week? Wow, near central London, yeah, it had to be. He also wanted the whole deposit back and threatened to go to my employer and say I'm of bad character. I didn't know how deposit protection scheme worked and how it usually favours the tenant, unfortunately, so I caved in because I didn't want to deal with a crazy midget anymore. But I still have horrific memories of no curtains, no privacy, and having to do laundry in a laundromat. What an awful year that was, despite paying so much. Growing up, I had a friend who, he had curtains, but there was nowhere to hang the curtains, so they were just used as bed sheets. I slept in a curtain on a floor once, more than once actually, and you know what? It's not comfortable. Top comment, Pazimo rented a place in Zone 4, area near central London, for those that don't know. Wanted to get a phone line put in. Yes, it was a long time ago. So I called BT to arrange it. They said they had no record of our flat. Checked other places, council, etc. and found out why all the bills were included. The house had illegally been divided into 3 flats and the landlord hadn't told anyone. So, a whole month after we had moved in, we got in contact with a theatre fire officer. We both worked in the theatre to inspect the flat. They wrote a report detailing every breach of fire regulations. We went to the landlord and said if they didn't release us from our contract and return our deposit, we would post the report to the council. They obviously did release us early and returned our deposit. We then posted the report anyway. Ooh, you cheeky bugger. Purple Teapot of Doom says, this dates back to the 80s. My landlady was a Tory councillor who bought up several houses in the area where development was planned. She then rented them out while not maintaining them, and the compulsory purchase money was a good deal. If there were more than 4 people, then some had to be off the books, so the house was not officially a HMO, which stands for House of Multiple Occupancy. If anyone in the house complained of the many problems, she first tried to fob us off with duty-free cigarettes. Eventually, she sent around her downtrodden husband, who would turn up with a bag of tools he didn't know how to use. My bedroom door wouldn't shut because it was swollen up with the damp, and I asked him if he had a plane. He didn't know what that was, so I had to look through the bag and find one, then plane the door myself. The landlady would talk as though the house was perfect and wouldn't believe us when we said the cooker rings were live. We asked her to touch a metal pan handle while touching the oven door, and she was thrown across the room. Well, if that isn't the best revenge you can get on a landlady. Believe your tenants, man. Why would they lie about that? When I was renting, it was normal for a washing machine to be included, but I always brought my own bed and curtains, so I didn't think those necessarily fall under Nightmare Landlord. I actually wouldn't want them to provide a mattress, because I'd rather bring my own or buy a new one, so that I at least know where it's been. Ooh, Better Landlord says I was a nightmare landlord once. Oh, here we go, I love seeing it from the other angles. I had just bought a flat and I just assumed that the shower had both hot and cold water. The shower room didn't need to be refurbished or anything, and it seemed like it had been there for some time. I sent a contractor in to see the problem is with the boiler. Or whatever, and they came back and said that cold water had been connected to both outlets. Madness. Fixed it eventually, but I really should have checked this beforehand. I did check the shower worked and did notice it had great water pressure. Nah, that doesn't make you a nightmare landlord. Like, you're not going to know anything unless someone tells you. Yeah, I have this problem in my current place. After we complained, they kept delaying about fixing it, and now they're trying to sell the place. I get it, I guess it wasn't the easy income they thought it would be. That is what makes you a nightmare landlord, if you do that. Very different. And then we've got El Mundio 87 says, my last landlord did a lot of things. Claimed the oven was professionally cleaned before we moved in. We found it had a mould encrusted baking tray inside of it. Delicious. Yeah, when there's a cleaning fee attached to these things and you go in, it's like, where's the cleaning? Where's the cleaning? I don't see any cleaning that's been done in this place. I think every time I've moved into a place, I've had to spend about half a day deep cleaning the house. They always try to take some deposit for cleaning fees. Never clean when I move in. 2. Claimed that the mouse infestation was our problem, but wouldn't allow us to get a cat in case it ripped up the furniture, which all belonged to us anyway. Great logic. You can't bring a cat into the house in case he destroys your stuff. 3. Replaced the carpet as it was water damaged by a previous tenant and would constantly remind us of this anytime we wanted anything fixed. It was a cheap, nasty carpet that formed calluses on my feet if I walked barefoot on it. 4. Wired up the electricity himself. He was not licensed, which resulted in a fire in the utility cupboard. He maintained that he did not need a proper electrician as they were all crooks. 5. Lied about getting the intercom fixed for 2 years, so we had to run down 2 steep flights of stairs anytime the doorbell rang. And lastly, when the street-facing door broke, as in it would stay shut, preventing us from leaving, the advice he gave was to just leave it propped open. Just leave it propped open. Are you insane? Oh, God. Had a landlord who wanted us all to move out so she could sell the house. We made the arrangements, but she decided to move in a month prior to the agreement with her dogs to try and push us out faster. She would shave her legs in the kitchen, bring kids and friends around a lot. She threw some of our stuff out without asking, and she made the last few weeks hell. The worst part though, without a doubt, was losing our friendly neighbourhood cat, who spent most of his time in the house. I lived on the ground floor that had a window to the conservatory with a cat flap. One rainy day, I hear someone scratching on my window, and there he was trying to get in. I let him in, and for at least 2 years, he would come to my window every night and sleep in my room. Aww, that's cute. No treats needed, just wanted to be petted a bit and then sleep somewhere. Didn't know who owned him, but we called him John. When she moved in with her dogs, after saying something along the lines of, "Oh, the dogs will kill that cat, best be careful," John would try to get back in sometimes, but couldn't without the dogs chasing him off. He would watch us from a nearby garden and she'd look broken-hearted. Oh, we had to leave without even saying a goodbye to our boy, and we never got to see him again. It's been 1.5 years and I still think of that cat at least 3 times a week. I miss you, John. Oh, that's sad. Oh, what a sad ending. Oh, and here's a picture of John. John looks like a great cat. Look at that cutie. Sabdodzed says, final year in uni in southwest London. Our row of houses had a sewer pipe with one of those square things that allows you to enter it slap bang in the middle of our kitchen. Wake up to the smell of pee-pee and poo-poo in our kitchen. Turns out the sewer overflowed right into our kitchen, and so we had 10 houses worth of poo-poo pouring into our house. Landlord says we should clean it, and without money to hire a pro, we did it ourselves. Gross. That is horrendous. No way. How is that not top? That is that's a biohazard. That's the sort of thing you need professionals in, like that radiation gear, that sort of level of protection. You can't be cleaning that up yourself. This was in my last video about when you're young, when you're like at uni or just afterwards, you might be renting for the first time, you might not know what's normal and what's not, so you put up with a lot more than you should. This is worse. That sounds truly horrific. Inexcusable response from the landlord. He said, it sucked at the time, but was made better by all of us staying to clean it up. Disgusting. Ugh. Sewage has overflowed into my kitchen. This is a biohazard. We need to burn it. We need to burn this kitchen down. Well, on that bombshell, I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you thought of these stories. Put down in the comments below. What would you do if there was 10 houses worth of poo in your kitchen and your landlord was refusing to help? If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, because I do put out new Reddit videos every single day. And I will see you again next time. Oh, don't throw other people's stuff out. I learned that the hard way when I was at uni. I threw away someone's block of cheese because I thought it was gone bad and he was not happy with me. And whether or not it was gone bad, not mine to throw out. I apologise. She wouldn't shave her legs in the kitchen, bring kids around and friends a lot. She would. Oh, she would. Oh. I just read out she wouldn't shave her legs in the kitchen, like that's a bad thing. Didn't even clock it. She wouldn't even shave her legs in the kitchen. What a bitch.